the objective of this infrastructure summit also? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lohani, Honorable Chair of the session, and thank you for the organizer of the summit for inviting me and giving a chance to put my perspective on some of the very, I think, pertinent questions, the 3 questions. But at the outset, I am afraid that if anything left for me to speak, the 2 speaker and keynote speaker and the one of the panelists have already covered many aspects about infrastructure outlook. Again, I would take few minutes to approach some of the questions posed for setting of the context. I will then start from the first question and then go to the next and to the last and third questions. On question first, when it comes to challenges that exist with the lens of opportunity, again the speaker already pointed out challenges and especially opportunities. So I would not elaborate on the opportunities further. On challenge, I see 3 prominent challenges among others. 1, incentive to private sector, in that private sector rarely looks other than profit when it comes to investment, be that in trading, industry or infrastructure development. 2, investment as well as infrastructure coverage, qualities and even the capacities of the private sector are tied to limited investment, creating a kind of vicious circle. And 3rd, restricted if not limited ability of the private sector to access long-term financing. Seen from the private sector perspective, private sectors also appears to be not forthcoming. I may give one example here, that the country is recording a huge trade deficit. In other words, imports has been surging, and not only it is surging, all imports are being absorbed. One may inquire gently that where is the private sector? The private sector should be forthcoming and demanding policies and incentive from the government if they really need, while demanding, but the private sector at the same time has to make sure that you are not demanding something that restricts others to have an equal and level playing field. On question 2, now where in the world one cannot survive without government, meaning government's role is crucial not only in providing a very conducive environment for the private sector to invest not only on infrastructure, but also on climate resilient infrastructure. I think the government has known the importance of conducive environment, and reforms have been initiated. For example, the government has come up with a new act on public-private partnership and investment. Company Act and Industrial Enterprises Act are amended, making them more investment friendly. FITA has been approved and IPR on the way to be approved. One window system has now become fully operational. The Office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers has set up a separate and dedicated cell to regularly monitor the status and improvement of Doing Business Index. And another cell is dedicated for facilitating project implementation in both private and public sector when it comes to issue of basic utilities, forestry and land acquisition. Hedging rules have been put in place. There is a clear provision for repatriation, and very limited areas, I guess, are kept for restricting private and foreign investment. Among others, government attempt to provide a conducive and investment-friendly environment. The Prime Minister himself reviews the performance and problem every quarter. I think in its 15th plan, government has proposed almost 50% of its investment for the development of infrastructure. I think private sector and foreign investors have good chances of clustering and agglomeration effect and benefit from this investment. In the meantime, private sector and foreign investor also need not confuse the government by using restrictive investment and business practices. And the third and last questions. Globally, wage rate, availability of labor and availability of skilled labor in particular, a lower and predictable tax rate, enough infrastructure including transport facilities, size of the economy and its potential for growth, size of the population including middle income population, political openness and stability including property right and exchange rate are found to be precondition for private sector and FDI to flow to a particular country. Now we need to look at where Nepal stands in terms of some of these parameters. Wage rate, I think, are low in Nepal compared to many countries, including neighboring ones. There will be no shortage of labor in that. Nearly 5 million Nepalese are working abroad. In terms of skill, if opportunities are available at home, I guess many of the Nepalese working abroad will surely come back. When they are back, I think they will be back with the skill they earn during their stay in other countries. Tax rate, yes. It appears that there is a high tax rate in Nepal. It depends. In other words, tax rate for industries are less than 20% and to some companies as well. We need to look at the brighter side when it comes to tax, that is tax rate have become highly predictable in Nepal. On size of the economy, given the impressive growth rate over the last 3 years, last year grew by 7.1% and further potential for growth, the size of the GDP is going to be nearly $40 billion next year. Many still see Nepal a small country, but I have a different view, that is, in terms of size of population, Nepal is not a small country. It stands 40th place in the global map. And middle income population is growing. And it has the benefit of nearby market in India and Bangladesh. To some extent, markets are available in Bhutan and China as well. Coming to political stability, a government now in place with nearly two-thirds majority leaves no room for instability, one can hope, and Nepal is a very open country. Yes, investor may fear about exchange rate volatility. This risk is also mitigated now with the government implementing hedging rules and regulation. The country is being rated now and results are expected soon. With a positive rating likely, the private sector will have more access to long-term financing even from the international capital market. I think commodity existence and access to free trade are two other areas that private sector and particularly FDI looks for. Here also Nepal does not poorly pair with many other countries. To conclude, Nepal fairly pairs among the investment and FDI to other countries who are also attempting to have private sector and FDI increase. In this context, Nepal aspiration is required in the question for becoming middle income country by 2030 be thought of, not impossible. Yes, the road ahead is still very bumpy. We have to surface it and we have to make it more smooth. I think hopefully I try to attempt the 3 questions posed against the panelists. With this, I prefer to stop. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Dr. Lohani wanted me to touch upon today on three key themes which are relevant for Nepal's infrastructure future. One is regarding climate resilient infrastructure. Secondly, the tourism prospects for this country. And thirdly, how the public-private partnership can play into this. All 3 of them are sort of interwoven. And so I'll try and touch upon all of them together, given the shortage of time. When you fly into Nepal from Delhi, you see one of the most glorious sights on this planet, the great Himalayan massif. Annapurna 1, 2, 3, and 4 unrolls before your eyes. You are a country which is blessed with some of the most fabulous tourism locales on this planet. Compare it with a country like France. France is twice your population. You are aiming for 2 million tourists in 2020. France has got exactly twice your population. They have now 90 million tourists. I'm not saying we should let this country be overrun by tourism, but that's the kind of potential you're sitting upon. And the great thing about Nepal tourism is that you're what is called a tabula rasa, blank slate. You will not let your cities and your valleys be overrun with concrete like has happened in many cities or tourism destinations. In my Kerala, for instance, you have a very fresh slate to work on. And what do you need for successful tourism in this country? You need access, you need information, and you need very basic infrastructure, which is sort of rooted in the ecosystem, in the soil, in the logic of the water, the flow of the river and the streams. And this great opportunity is there before you. And how you do it now is what is going to sort of lay the future of your country for the next 20 or 30 years. We live in what is called the age of the Anthropocene, where the impact of man is now being seen on the planet. The climate events of the last 2, 3, 4 years, the sub-Himalayan earthquakes, the floods in South India, the delayed monsoon, which is still happening in Bombay as we speak, all of that reveals one thing, that the impact of climate change, this elephant in the room, is revealing its true colors now. So basically, you have about, your requirement, I saw some about $5 billion US at least for infra every year. Each dollar that you spend on infra in this country has to be measured by one optic only, primarily, whether it is earth-friendly, whether it's resilient, whether it's fitting in with the logic of the water flow, the watersheds, and the contour of the land. That's the first thing you need to do. So basically, you need to have a very sensible tourism policy, not overrunning with tourists. Give them access, give them information, and very basic earth-friendly infrastructure. If you can get these three pieces right, you're all set for tourism. No grand. You don't need to have grand pouring of concrete into your valleys. That's the first thing I wanted to say. Second thing is about public-private partnerships. In India, we made a lot of mistakes in this. You have an act, I know, regulations are hopefully going to come. All the movers and shakers of the Nepalese government are in this room. I'm sure they are working on it, on policies. You need to get two things right for public-private partnerships to work in infrastructure. The first one, of course, is the allocation of risk, and there you have to learn from the mistakes of India. What the Indian government did, what the state governments did there was to push all the risk onto the private sector, the land acquisition risk, the financial risk, etc. So the sovereign has to take on risks which the sovereign has to take on. Basically, one thing which I would really urge you is to look at some of the Indian experience. We are getting it right now, is how to ensure that the private sector does not have a share of uncertainty and risk, which is rightfully the role of government to take. And second part of getting the PPP right is the access to long-term finance. I know Nepal, the other markets, the financial markets are still in a work in progress, it's still developing. But if you rely on bank finance or overseas finance with all the currency and fluctuation uncertainties, it's not going to work. You have to develop your bond markets. You have to think of sensible refinancing avenues, etc. One-fourth of this country's GDP comes from remittances. I know they are small remittances, they're not very big ones, but if you combine them, if you can have an instrument whereby people going out of a village can channel their savings back into some little infrastructure, tourism infrastructure in that area, that is something you really can make it win. So these are the three themes I want to touch upon in the limited time. Sensible tourism, sensible construction, and a PPP environment which really makes sense for the private investor to come into these areas. Thank you.
So thank you for the opportunity to share some of my thoughts today. So today I'd like to unpack the potential opportunity for countries such as Nepal to leapfrog as a society and truly transform this infrastructure industry through the adoption of digital technology. If you look at the trend by 2020, which is just next year, by the way, there will be between 20 to 40 billion devices connected to internet. And this has made a significant impact in a lot of different technologies. We just, Mr. Vice President just talked about fourth generation of industry revolutions and all that. If you look at the manufacturing industry with advanced manufacturing, automotive industry, finance, medical, and even agriculture have transformed as a result. But when you look at the infrastructure industry, it is not just in Nepal, but globally, this industry has been a laggard when it comes to the adoption of technology. I always like to give an example of Roman bridges. Roman bridges, more than 2,000 years ago, it was designed for horses and carts. Fast forward 2,000 years, if you look at the automotive industry, even an entry-level or mid-level car of $40,000, it's packed with technology. It's got the lane detecting sensors, it's got active cruise control, it's got all sorts of sensors. It can almost drive itself. But bridges, fast forward 2,000 years ago, it was dumb back then, it is dumb even today. So let's briefly talk about the infrastructure challenges in the Western world. So Western world, they had a massive infrastructure boom post-World War II. So again, let's take bridges as an example because it's a very example for us we can relate to. 70% of the bridges in Australia are now more than 50 years old. If you look at Europe, more than a million bridges that they've got in Europe, half of them are beyond their 50 years design life. If you look at the United States, 30% of the bridges are either functionally obsolete or structurally deficient, but they're still currently in use. As you could imagine, this presents a huge challenge in maintaining and upkeeping these infrastructure assets. These assets were never designed for maintainability, hence the cost of properly managing these bridges is astronomical. American Society of Civil Engineers conducted a review on their state of American infrastructure, and they gave a score of D+. If you get a D+ at an AIT, you know what will happen to you. So they will sort of get you to pack your bags and leave. So, and they suggested that as a society, they got to find $2 trillion over the next 10 years to ensure that the infrastructure is up to scratch. So there are literally trillions of dollars worth of assets worldwide that are not compliant to modern standards, but as a society, we simply can't afford to replace them. So the only way to sustainably manage these infrastructure assets is through innovation and through the adoption of technology. Now coming back to Nepal, Nepal is also going through a massive infrastructure boom. So my understanding is that there are around 2,000 bridges are either currently under construction or in the planning process, and we'll be building thousands and thousands of more in coming years. So we simply can't afford to find ourselves in the similar predicament that the Western world is finding themselves in today and pass on all this unsustainable infrastructure to our future generation. So we now have a great opportunity to learn from the developed world's experience over the past 50 years and leapfrog to build sustainability and resilience through the adoption of modern technology. As we all know, the major mega trends at the moment are IoT, big data, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, drone technologies, augmented reality, robotics, and so on. Over the next 5 years, there will be a fierce competition around the world in developing these technologies, and infrastructure industry will be part of that as well. Nepal can be an ideal test bed for such developments. Our natural environments are challenging. We've got, it's disaster prone with earthquake, landslides, and all that type of thing. And climate change is only going to get the situation exacerbated. So we also have a large youth population with digital literacy, and both the cost of technology and geographical barriers are coming rapidly down, leveling the playing field for all the countries. So literally, we're only bound by the limits of our imagination. So Nepal, like any other nation, needs a proactive national agenda on digital transformation so that as a nation, Nepal does not miss the boat in building globally competitive and exportable intelligent infrastructure technologies. To facilitate that, we've got to have three things front of mind. One thing is around skills. Skills is an important piece in this, so identifying the skills for future and embedding them in the curricula, as Mr. Vice President mentioned a little while ago, right from the primary school level. And that is the important bit, not only in the university-style education, but also the vocational education. And the second important piece is around collaboration. Over the next couple of days, I'm sure we'll be talking about private-public partnership and all that type of thing, but we also got to look into business-to-business collaboration, business-to-university collaboration, so that we can create new knowledge, and also collaboration across borders. And the third one, and to me the most important one, is to, as a society, we got to underpin a startup culture. So that we can fast-track commercialization of innovative ideas and provide innovators with access to end users, capital, and most importantly, mentoring. In summary, there is a window of opportunity for developing nations such as Nepal to leapfrog through digital transformation. It is important to have this in mind when we build a policy framework for sustainable and climate-resilient infrastructure development in Nepal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, I'm back. This is one of the most behaved panel I have ever seen in my thousands of meetings I've attended. They kept time, they were very precise, they kept some time for us, some questioning. Now, I would like to see if you have very precise questions. What you have to think is the word precise. Don't make long comments, but precise questions, precise comments are welcomed. We can take a few of them for the next 10 minutes. Any? None? Very satisfied panel? Audience? No more. Okay, if not, I think it's okay to move on and try to wrap this up. I'm not trying to wrap up this session by saying everything what they have said. But since this is the setting the stage session, I think we have heard, and if we haven't heard, we must hear that infrastructure is so critical for economic development of the country. It's a motherhood statement. We need it. But if you go back to what Bishnuji's report, which is to be launched this afternoon, it says that by 2030, 1919 to 2030, we may need about 8 to anywhere up to 10%, 9.85% of the GDP has to be spent if we want a 5% economic growth. The VC Planning Commission has made a very good 15 years plan, 5 years plan. There's a lot of information there, we can read it there. But important thing to remember is we got to spend more because our investment in the infrastructure sector is much lower per GDP than any other country, even in South Asia. I'm not going to say what percentage, but the report has done 5% scenario, 7.5% scenario, 10% scenario. Financing, and it also talks about the big financing needs and the gap. What comes out very clearly is the need is very huge. We say public sector doesn't have enough money. This is said all the time, which is true. In every country it's the same. The private sector has to do more, which is also correct. But what I'm also reading from the report is the private sector also doesn't have a lot of money of its own. In the survey, in the report said they are willing to, their capacity to stay is 3 to 5 years with their own, 3 to 7 years with their own money. So they need some additional FDI. From PPP modalities are good. In addition to PPP modalities, I think we also need to think about leveraging instruments. If you have $1, how I can build $5? I'm looking at Jingdong Hua, Vice President of the World Bank, the guy is a champion in doing local currency bond. You did the dim sum bond, kimchi bond, I don't know what all bonds. Maybe you should do something, Gundruk bond or something for Nepal, leverage their money. That could be used for infrastructure in Nepal. We haven't done that. I think this is an opportunity that is still remembered. Resilient infrastructure. We can't build infrastructure the way we've been building in the past, the climate change reality. I've read the report in Nepal, to 1 to 2% of the GDP will be lost in 3 sectors alone, agriculture, hydro, and water. And we can't afford to do that. And I think Wuchong is right, and George is right, we must make resilient infrastructure. Making resilient infrastructure comes at a price. And in this report, which Mr. Bishnuji mentioned, we would need at least $2 billion more for the period 2019 to 2030 if we want to build the same infrastructure and make them resilient, climate friendly. I think we must do this. But we also have the opportunity to go and look for fund like GCF, Global Climate Fund, other free money, which we haven't done very much. So there's an opportunity that exists right there. Role of the private sector. I think Lal Sankarji rightly said, private sectors should look at profit. Every private sector should look at profit, reasonable profit, but also beyond profit. So please, let's say profit plus plus. You must not make profit at the cost of quality, not at the cost of governance. So profit plus plus, I think, should be the way to look forward in future. And I must really congratulate the government has tried, at least on their part, to create several acts of their own, like PPIA, Lal Sankarji mentioned, Public-Private Partnership and Investment Act, Foreign Investment Technical Transfer, Industrial Enterprise Act, on and on. They have done their part. Our job is to distill that, understand that, and how to make it happen on the ground. I think that is the stage that we seem to be in. Now, promoting this industry and technology. I think Dr. Govind brought this very new concept of looking at the infrastructure. I'm an engineer myself. We design infrastructure for the life of 50 years, 60 years. The question happens, what happens when the 50 life is over? 50 years ago, I was in the Department of Roads in the government of Nepal. I built something. I want to go back and take a look what happened to those infrastructure. Maybe I get a D-. You know, you said the US is D+. It is good to go back and take a look and see what we need to do to refurbish those, to really make them relevant today, if not replace them. I think this is an exercise which is worth doing it for any country, and thanks for bringing this knowledge, which will be very, very useful for countries like Nepal. I think the Vice Chairman Planning Commission said nicely, the government is doing a project bank. We need to have good projects in our self-ready-made, which we can pull when we have money and when we want to do it. We don't seem to be having that. That's a very good concept. But we also need to be thinking about regional infrastructure. I'm looking at Mr. Morita, Dr. Subin, the champions who probably will talk in the next, the other session, the importance of connectivity on one side, on the other hand, the regional infrastructure, which will be win-win for both sides. And there is a lot of experience in Southeast Asia. We have to learn that. And Wu Chong said we need to update our knowledge gap. Everyone has to do that. I'm trying to do every year. I've lost most of it. You can see it. I'm really updating every year. How to build institution and institutional capacity. I think this is a perennial problem in developing countries. Creating individuals, we've got a lot of smart people in every country, but do we have the institution that they are able to capture that? Do we have the human resources that is needed for the next century, like what has been mentioned here? So these are some of the things that comes in this session. And we do have lots of other sessions where people will talk. I really want to thank you very much, and I want to save a lot of time for the next 20 minutes plus for our chairman for his remarks, which we all want to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our moderator, Dr. Bindu Lohani, for, of course, wonderfully hosting and moderating the session. Please welcome Dr. Baburam Bhattarai for the closing remarks for the session.
Friends, first of all, I would like to take your permission to speak in my mother tongue and national language, Nepali. तपाईहरु सायद सबैलाई हाम्रो हिन्दू धर्म र संस्कृति बारे सम्झना छ। त्यहाँ एकजना गणेश भन्ने पात्र छन्। तिनलाई माता पार्वतीले अत्यन्त जोड गरेको हुनाले पिता शिवले वरदान दिए, सबैभन्दा पहिले तिम्रो नाम लिइनेछन् श्री गणेशाय नमः, र कुनै पनि अनुष्ठान गर्दा तिम्रो मूर्ति राखिनेछ। त्यसैले उनको चाहिँ एउटा मूर्ति स्थापना गरिन्छ। त्यसैले यो हाम्रो कार्यक्रमको म एउटा गणेश मात्रै हुँ। त्यसैले मैले धेरै बोल्नु उपयुक्त हुँदैन। जुन सम्मान दिनुभएको छ, म आजको साथीहरूलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। र मलाई सम्झना हुन्छ यो तेस्रो जुन यो शिखर सम्मेलन, पूर्वाधार शिखर सम्मेलन यहाँहरूले आयोजना गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ, मैले सम्भवतः यी तीनवटैमा सहभागी बन्ने अवसर पाएको छु। त्यस निम्ति म तपाईहरुलाई बधाई दिन चाहन्छु। यो अत्यन्त महत्त्वपूर्ण उपयुक्त विषय हो। तर यहाँले अन्यथा नमानिदिनु होला, मेरा केही अलिकति कटु खालका केही तिक्त खालका टिप्पणीहरू छन्। हामीले यति महत्त्वपूर्ण बैठकहरू गर्छौँ, देशका अगुवा उद्यम व्यवसायीहरू, अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय वित्तीय संस्थाका प्रतिनिधिहरू, अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय संस्थामा काम गर्नुभएका नेपालका अत्यन्त उच्च पदस्थ व्यक्तित्वहरू यहाँ हुनुहुन्छ र यहाँ हामीले अत्यन्त महत्त्वपूर्ण कुराहरू गर्छौँ, निष्कर्ष निकाल्छौँ, पेपरहरू प्रस्तुत गर्छौँ। तर मैले के देखिरहेको छु भने हामीले जतिसुकै गहन विचार विमर्श गरेर अत्यन्त उच्चस्तरीय अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय महत्त्वका प्रतिवेदनहरू पारित गरे पनि व्यवहार त हामीले कार्यान्वयन गर्न सकिरहेका छैनौँ। त्यसपछिको कार्यान्वयन पक्ष, लागू गर्ने पक्षमा गम्भीर कठिनाइहरू छन्। त्यसैले मेरो आज यहाँहरूलाई पहिलो सुझाव छ, यहाँहरूले त्यस विषयमा पनि किन हुन सकिरहेको छैन। हामी कसैको पनि नियत खराब छैन, हामी राम्रै नियतले केही गरौँ भनेर हामी लागेका छौँ, तर परिणाम किन आइरहेको छैन? मुख्य कुरा नियतभन्दा पनि परिणामको कुरा हो। त्यसैले त्यतापट्टि मेरो एउटा पूर्वानुमान यहाँहरूलाई के छ, खालि यहाँहरूको लागि सोच्नको निम्ति के मद्दत पुगोस् भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ के भनेदेखि हामीले कुनै पनि विषयवस्तुलाई एउटा ऐतिहासिक सन्दर्भ, हिस्टोरिकल कन्टेक्स्टमा राखेर हामीले बुझ्नु पर्दछ। र अहिले हामीले जुन पूर्वाधार विकासको जुन कुरा गरिरहेका छौँ, यहाँ एउटा सबभन्दा पहिले सुरुमा नै तपाईँले समाधान गर्नुपर्ने विषय के छ भने एउटा कुखुरा पहिले कि अथवा चल्ला पहिले कि अन्डा पहिले भन्ने हाम्रो प्रसिद्ध एउटा प्याराडक्स छ। अब अहिले मैले बुझेअनुसार विज्ञानले टुङ्गो पनि लगाइदियो, पहिले चाहिँ अन्डै भएको, किन अन्डाबाट नै पछि चाहिँ चल्ला आएको भने यो पछिल्लो विज्ञानले भन्ने आश्चर्यता नजाउँ। र यहाँ कहाँनिर भनेदेखि हामी इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर पूर्वाधार पहिले कि लगानी पहिले अथवा निजी लगानी र अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय लगानी पहिले, एफडिआई पहिले भन्ने एउटा चक्करमा हामी फसिरहेछौँ। त्यहाँदेखि यो सन्दर्भ सापेक्ष हुन्छ। अहिले विश्व चौथो औद्योगिक क्रान्तिमा पुगेको मानिन्छ, तर नेपाल अहिले पनि हामी पहिलो औद्योगिक क्रान्ति पनि नेपालमा भएको छैन। हाम्रो अर्थतन्त्रको आधार अहिले पनि निर्वाहमुखी कृषिमा मूल हाम्रो अर्थतन्त्र आश्रित छ। 2/3 जनसङ्ख्या त्यसमा आश्रित छ। 28% हाम्रो चाहिँ जिडिपी अहिले पनि कृषि क्षेत्रले दिन्छ र हाम्रो अधिकांश भूभागमा हाम्रो प्रारम्भिक पूर्वाधारमा जुन 1 नम्बर पूर्वाधार भनेको सडक हो। जब अर्थतन्त्रको बजारीकरणै भएको छैन भने हाम्रो पहिलो यति बेलाको पहिलो हाम्रो आवश्यकता भनेको यो जुन हिमाली क्षेत्रमा रहेको भारत र चीनको बिचमा एउटा भर्याङ जस्तो ठडिएको र बसेको 70 मिटरदेखि 8848 मिटरसम्मको उचाइ भएको जुन नेपालको भूभाग छ, त्यो ठाउँमा तपाईँले बजारको विस्तार गर्ने हो भने पहिलो 1 नम्बर प्राथमिकता भनेको सडक नै हो। कुनै विवाद रहनु हुँदैन। र अहिले हामी संहितामा गएका छौँ, 753 वटा हाम्रा स्थानीय सरकारहरू छन्। ती सबै सरकार हुन्, कार्यपालिका, व्यवस्थापालिका र न्यायपालिका सहितको अङ्गहरू हुन् तिनीहरू। त्यसले तिनका केन्द्रहरूमा कमसेकम सबभन्दा पहिले 12 महिना चल्ने सडकले जोडौँ र पूर्व र पश्चिम जोड्ने सडक, तराईको बिचबाट जाने हुलाकी मार्ग र पहाडको बिचबाट जाने मध्यपहाडी लोकमार्ग, यी दुईटा मार्ग र नेपालको ऐतिहासिक रूपमा बनेको चाहिँ के हो भनेदेखि कोशी, गण्डकी र कर्णाली, यी तीनटा नदीका जलाधारमा नेपालको चाहिँ भूबनोट भएको हुनाले यी तीनवटा क्षेत्र, कोशी करिडोर, गण्डकी करिडोर र कर्णाली करिडोरबाट भारत र चीन जोड्ने सडक यति पहिले बनाऊ र सँगसँगै काठमाडौँ जुन उपत्यका हाम्रो राजधानी छ, यसमा यति धेरै जनसङ्ख्या अलिक केन्द्रित हुँदै गएको छ र यसलाई यही रूपले धान्न असम्भव छैन। र काठमाडौँ र तराई मधेसलाई हामीले छिटोभन्दा छिटो नजोडेसम्म र राजधानीमा यति धेरै जुन केन्द्रीकरण हुँदै गएको छ हाम्रो जनसङ्ख्या, आर्थिक गतिविधि र सबै हाम्रो विकास, यसलाई तपाईँले विकेन्द्रित नगरिकन कमसेकम तराई मधेसमा नजोडेसम्म पनि हुँदैन। त्यसैले यति कुरालाई हामीले पहिलो प्राथमिकता दिनुपर्छ र त्यो भनेको सडकमा नै हामीले चाहिँ जोड चाहिँ दिने हो। र र अब सडकको कुरा के आउँछ भनेदेखि सुरुको चरणमा जब भर्खर मार्केटै बनेको छैन भने निजी क्षेत्रले सडकमा लगानी गर्ला कि नगर्ला? गर्दैन, गर्न हुँदैन। तपाईँ उद्योग क्षेत्र है, तपाईँले गर्नु हुँदैन, किनकि तपाईँको धर्म भनेको त मुनाफा कमाउने हो। तपाईँले वस्तु र सेवा उत्पादन गर्ने हो, रोजगारी सृजना गर्ने हो र तपाईँले चाहिँ राजस्व सङ्कलनको आधार तयार पारिदिने हो। त्यही तपाईँको धर्मै त्यही हो। त्यसैले तपाईँले वस्तु र सेवा उत्पादनमा रोजगारी सृजना गर्नमा र तपाईँले ध्यान दिने हो र त्यसको निम्ति चाहिने भौतिक, सामाजिक र वित्तीय पूर्वाधारहरू सामूहिक रूपमा निजी क्षेत्र पनि त्यसमा हुन्छ, हामी सबै हुन्छौँ। त्यसैको निम्ति हामीले राज्यको परिकल्पना गरेका हौँ। त्यसले पब्लिक सेक्टर, राज्यले नै सबभन्दा पहिले प्रारम्भिक चरणमा यो क्षेत्रमा भूमिका निर्वाह गर्नुपर्छ। यसमा कुनै दुविधा रहनु भएन। तपाईँ हामी कुरा चपाइराखेका छौँ। तर यसमा म देख्ने, सडकमा मैले देख्ने एउटै सम्भावना के हो भने यो काठमाडौँ तराई मधेस जोड्ने जुन एउटा फास्ट ट्र्याक हो त्यहाँ चाहिँ निजी क्षेत्रको सम्भावना थियो र पब्लिक प्राइभेट पार्टनरसिप भने पनि अथवा निजी क्षेत्रलाई दिए पनि, हाम्रो आन्तरिक निजी क्षेत्र, जोइन्ट भेन्चर अथवा बाह्यलाई दिए पनि त्यसको सम्भावना थियो। तर हाम्रो रणनीतिक कारणले र हाम्रो आफ्नै एउटा भिजनको अस्पष्टताले गर्दा त्यसलाई वर्षौँसम्म हामी अल्झाइरहेका छौँ। हाम्रो नेपाली सेनाले त ट्र्याक खोलिदिने मात्रै हो, त्यो मात्रै उसको सिप छ, क्षमता छ, उसले राम्रै गरेछ। विभिन्न जिल्लाका सदरमुकाम, डोल्पा, हुम्लातिर बाटो लिएर जाने, गोर्खाको लार्कीको माथि बाटो बनाउने, पहरा फोड्ने काम उसले गर्न सक्छ। तर यो फास्ट ट्र्याक जस्तो काम गर्ने उसको दक्षता होइन, क्षमता होइन, काम होइन। अब हामी अल्झेर सेनाले दिइरहेका छौँ। त्यसैले यो निजी क्षेत्रले गर्न सक्थ्यो। अब हामीले, म त्यो त धेरै जान चाहन्न, हाम्रो जुन जटिल भू राजनीति छ त्यसलाई व्यवस्थापन गर्न नसक्दा निजी क्षेत्रले भूमिका निर्वाह गर्न सक्ने महत्त्वपूर्ण लगानीको जुन क्षेत्र थियो त्यो चाहिँ हुन सकेन। केही साथीहरूले यो सुरुङमा आएर काठमाडौँ हेटौँडा जोड्ने सुरुङमा आएर बनाउने कोसिस गर्नुभयो, तर विविध कारणले उहाँ जुटाउन सक्नु भएन। तपाईँलाई थाहा छ, नलजाउनुहोस्, मलाई राम्रोसँग थाहा छ त्यो कुरा, किनकि म प्रधानमन्त्रीसँग मैले त स्वीकृति दिएको थिएँ गर्नुहोस् भनेर, तर सक्नु भएन उहाँहरू। यसले के देखाउँछ भने निजी क्षेत्रले अहिलेसम्म यो पूर्वाधार, खासै सडक पूर्वाधारमा लगानी गर्ने बेला अझै भइसकेको रहेनछ। यसलाई हामीले स्वीकार गर्नुपर्छ र यसको निम्ति चाहिँ राज्य क्षेत्रले नै यसमा प्रमुख भूमिका खेल्नुपर्छ। इतिहासमा केलाएर हेर्नुहोस् तपाईँले, युरोप, अमेरिका, रुस, चीन लगायत भारत सबै देशहरूले सुरुको चरणमा यो सडक पूर्वाधार, यातायात पूर्वाधार, सञ्चार पूर्वाधार राज्य क्षेत्रले नै गर्छ। अनि त्यसको जगमा बल्ल उद्योग धन्दा जो विकास हुन्छ निजी क्षेत्रले लगानी गर्छ, वस्तु उत्पादन, सेवा उत्पादन गर्छ। अनि मिडल इन्कम, मध्य आय र उच्च आयको चरणमा पुगिसकेपछि जब अनि एकदम अल्ट्रा मोडर्न प्रकारका स्टेट अफ द आर्ट टेक्नोलोजी सहितका जब पूर्वाधार बनाउने बेला आउँछ त्यति बेला निजी क्षेत्रले पूर्वाधार, खास मैले यातायात पूर्वाधार गरेँ, सबै पूर्वाधार मैले भने यातायात पूर्वाधारको क्षेत्र त्यति बेला गर्न सक्छ। त्यसको निम्ति नेपालमा अर्को समान भएको क्षेत्र भनेको यो चाहिँ हवाई र एयरपोर्टहरू, एयरपोर्टमा सम्भावना छ। तर क्षेत्रीय एयरपोर्ट होइन, आन्तरिक एयरपोर्ट होइन, अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय एयरपोर्ट जुन हामीले बनाउँदैछौँ, निजगढको एयरपोर्ट र यो फास्ट ट्र्याकलाई जोडेर हामीले लान सक्दा त्यो चाहिँ निजी क्षेत्रको लगानीको सम्भावना छ। त्यसमा जोड गर्नुहोस्, त्यसमा मेरो तर्फबाट तपाईँलाई पुरै साथ सहयोग हुन्छ। अरू क्षेत्रमा चाहिँ यातायातको क्षेत्रमा, रेलका क्षेत्र अनेक हाम्रा प्रधानमन्त्रीजीहरूले अरू साथीहरूले कुरा गर्नुहुन्छ, त्यसमा अहिले निजी क्षेत्रले हात हाल्न सक्दैन। र हामी अर्को भ्रममा कहाँ परिरहेछ, हाम्रा साथीहरू कहाँ भ्रममा हुनुहुन्छ भने हिजो शीतयुद्धको कालखण्डमा नेपालको जुन एउटा भू राजनीतिक एउटा महत्त्व थियो, एउटा कम्युनिस्ट गैर कम्युनिस्ट क्षेत्रको हो, त्यति बेला चाहिँ नेपालमा अलिकति सित्तीमा नै सडक बनाइदिने थियो। कोही भारतले बनाइदिएछ, कोही चिनले बनाइदिएछ, कोही रुसले बनाइदिएछ गरेका थियो। तर त्यो शीतयुद्धको चरणमा आफ्नो सामरिक हित रक्षाको निम्ति उनीहरूले चाहिँ त्यो लगानी गरेका थिए। तर अब त्यो युग छैन, अहिले कसैले पनि आएर हामीले बनाइँदैन। अनि हामी चाहिँ रेल आउँछ चिनबाट ल्याउनुपर्छ भनेका छौँ, कसरी बनाउँछौँ भन्दा छैन। अनि उहाँले हामीले आशा गर्छ हाम्रो मित्रले बनाउने, किन बनाउनुहुन्छ उहाँले, तपाईँले के बेच्नुहुन्छ, के किन्नुहुन्छ र बनाउने। अनि हामी त हिजो शीतयुद्धको ढङ्गबाट चाहिँ रेल आउँछ ल्याइदिनुहुन्छ, आफू लगानी गर्ने क्षमता छैन, त्यतापट्टिको हिसाब किताब गर्नु छैन। अनि आउँछ भोलि आउँछ 6 महिनाभित्र आउँछ, लो रेलको टिकटै काट्नु, काउन्टरै खोलिसक्यो भनेर चाहिँ हामी भनिदिन्छौँ। अनि पानी जहाजको निम्ति पनि फलाना दिन टिकट काट्नु भनिदिन्छौँ। भने यो के भयो, म साथीहरूले दोष दिन्न, यो दृष्टिदोष कहाँनिर हो भने हामी हिजोकै शीतयुद्धको दङदङ्गीमा छौँ र ठुला शक्तिहरूले आएर हामीलाई दया गरेर अलि ठुलो भिक्षा दिन्छन् भनी अपेक्षा हामीले गर्छौँ। तर भिक्षा कति पाइँदो रहेछ देखिहाल्नु अस्ति मात्रै, जब कति करोडको चाहिँ एउटा अरे अनि कति थान चाहिँ पालहरू, यही हामीले भिक्षा पाउने भनेको। त्यसैले त्यस्तो मानसिकता, भिक्षाको मानसिकता हामीले छोडिदिनुपर्छ र हामीले यस्ता पूर्वाधार अब कहाँबाट आउँछ रकम भन्ने प्रश्न त कहाँबाट आउँछ रकम भने एडिबीका मित्र यहाँ हुनुहुन्छ, वर्ल्ड ब्याङ्क लगायत थुप्रै जुन वित्तीय संस्थाहरू छन् उनीहरूले राम्रैसँग चाहिँ उहाँहरूले चाहिँ लगानी गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ, ऋण दिनुहुन्छ उहाँले त्यसै दयामाया गर्ने होइन, ऋण दिने हो उहाँले र सस्तो ब्याजमा ऋण पाइन्छ। सफ्ट लोन भन्नुहोस् अथवा जे नाम तपाईँले दिनुहोस् त्यसमा लिएर हामीले बनाउने हो र त्यसको निम्ति मात्रै त्यसपछि बल्ल निजी क्षेत्रको पालो आउँछ, यसमा कुनै दुविधा नरहोस्। तर यसको अर्थ के अब निजी क्षेत्रले यो पूर्वाधारको क्षेत्रमा लगानी ठाउँ छैन त भने होइन, छ। कहाँनिर छ भने एनर्जीको सेक्टरमा, किन पूर्वाधार एनर्जी बिना चाहिँ फेरि यो अर्थतन्त्रको रूपान्तरण हुँदैन। कृषि प्रधान अर्थतन्त्रलाई औद्योगिक र सेवा प्रधान अर्थतन्त्रमा रूपान्तरण गर्नको निम्ति हामीलाई ऊर्जा चाहिन्छ। त्यसको निम्ति हामीसँग जल स्रोत ऊर्जाको जुन प्रचुर सम्भावना छ, हामीलाई मात्र होइन त्यसको निर्यात गर्ने पनि जुन सम्भावना छ, अब त हामीले चाहिँ बिमस्टेक मार्फत अथवा चाहिँ भारत चीन बङ्गलादेशको चाहिँ सहकार्य मार्फत बाहिर पनि जुन निर्यात गर्ने सम्भावना छ हो, त्यो क्षेत्रमा चाहिँ निजी क्षेत्रले राम्रै लगानी गर्न सक्छ। तर दुर्भाग्यवश हाम्रो उपयुक्त नीति नहुनुको कारणले, हाम्रो निजी क्षेत्रको पनि त्यति धेरै क्षमता नहुनुको कारणले धेरै सोचेअनुसार आवश्यकता हुन सकेको छैन। यसमा हामीले ध्यान दिउँ, तपाईँहरूले पनि त्यसमा बढी जोड गर्नुहोस् भन्ने मेरो चाहिँ आग्रह छ। त्यसको पुरै सम्भावना छ र त्यतापट्टि जाउँ। म यहाँहरूकोमा ध्यानाकर्षण गराउन चाहन्छु। र अरू अब यो अर्बनाइजेसन पनि हाम्रो तीव्र गतिले हाम्रो भएको छ। अहिले हामीले जुन 753वटा स्थानीय तहमध्ये हाम्रा 290 करिब जुन नगरपालिका हामीले बनाएका छौँ, भले ती नाम मात्रका मात्रै नगरपालिका छन्। उही गाउँले सामान्य पूर्वाधार सडक पनि नभएकोलाई हामीले सहर भनिदिएका छौँ। सहर भन्दैमा हुने त होइन, गरिबको नाम धनबहादुर राख्दै ऊ धनी हुने त होइन, तैपनि हामीले फेरि एउटा आफ्नो आत्मसन्तुष्टिको निम्ति सहर भनेर भनिदिएका छौँ। यदि त्यसलाई मान्ने हो भने तिनको विकासको निम्ति यो चाहिँ पूर्वाधार आवश्यक छ। त्यहाँ चाहिँ खानेपानी, त्यसको चाहिँ सरसफाइ, त्यहाँको आन्तरिक सडक आदिको सम्भावना छ। तर त्यहाँ पनि निजी क्षेत्रले अहिले चाहिँ फेरि भूमिका निर्वाह गर्न सक्दैन, किन त्यो त्यति नाफामूलक हुँदैन। त्यसको निम्ति पनि स्थानीय तह, हाम्रा सरकार, प्रदेश सरकारहरूले नै भूमिका निर्वाह गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। निजी क्षेत्रले त्यहाँ सहयोग गरिदिने भनेको तपाईँहरूले वस्तु र सेवाको उत्पादन गरेर तपाईँहरूले बढीभन्दा बढी राजस्व तिर्ने वातावरण बनाइदिनुहोस्। यो घुसखोरी र कमिसनमा खर्च गर्नुको साटो राज्यको कोषमा सिधै तपाईँहरूले तिर्ने जुन कर छ त्यहाँ तिरिदिनु भयो भने त्यो जम्मा गरेर हामीले चाहिँ राज्यले, स्थानीय तहले, प्रदेशले लगानी गर्न सक्छ। तपाईँले गर्ने त्यहाँ हो। त्यसैले म यो भौतिक पूर्वाधारको क्षेत्रमा म यो चाहिँ एनर्जीको सेक्टर बाहेक र फास्ट ट्र्याक र इन्टरनेसनल एयरपोर्ट बाहेकका अन्य क्षेत्रमा म तत्काल सम्भावना देख्दिनँ। केही वर्ष, केही दशकपछि जब हाम्रो चाहिँ सन् 2030सम्म हामी मध्यम स्तरमा पुग्ने जुन हाम्रो प्रक्षेपण छ त्यहाँ पुगेछौँ भने त्यसपछि चाहिँ फेरि तपाईँले यो सहरीय पूर्वाधारहरू आन्तरिक यहाँका चाहिँ यातायातको क्षेत्रमा र सडकको क्षेत्रमा, रेलका क्षेत्रमा लगानी गर्ने सम्भावना आउँछ। त्यसैले त्योभन्दा अगाडि तपाईँले सेलेक्टिभली चाहिँ जानुहोस् भन्ने चाहिँ मेरो चाहिँ आग्रह छ। र म अब अन्त्यमा मेरो आग्रह, अनि अर्को एउटा सेक्टर चाहिँ सम्भावना भएको क्षेत्र भनेको शिक्षा र स्वास्थ्य हो। तर यो सामाजिक सेवाकै क्षेत्र हो। यो त्यसो भएको हुनाले त्यहाँ निजी क्षेत्रले फेरि मुनाफाको निम्ति लगानी गर्नु त्यति उपयुक्त हुँदैन। तैपनि तपाईँहरूले चाहिँ आफ्नो सोसियल, कर्पोरेट सोसियल रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटीको हिसाबले अथवा तपाईँले नन प्रफिट मोटिभको हिसाबले ती क्षेत्रहरूमा लगानी गरेर शिक्षाको गुणस्तर विकास गर्न, अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय स्तरको शिक्षा, प्राविधिक शिक्षा सिर्जना गर्न भूमिका निर्वाह गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। तर त्यो नै लगानीकै क्षेत्र, मुनाफामूलक लगानीको क्षेत्र त्यो सायद बनाउने बेला त्यो भएको छैन। त्यहाँ बरु पब्लिक प्राइभेट पार्टनरसिप केही क्षेत्रमा, रिसर्च एन्ड डेभलपमेन्टका क्षेत्रमा र केही स्पेसलाइज एजुकेसन र हेल्थका क्षेत्रमा गर्न सकिन्छ। तर त्यसतापट्टि पनि मेरो चाहिँ सुझाव के छ भने तपाईहरुले नन प्रॉफिट मोटिभले गर्दिनु भयो भने राम्रो हुन्छ, तर त्यसको निम्ति पनि तपाईहरुको क्षमता वृद्धि हुनु पर्यो। त्यसैले तपाईहरुले चाहिँ त्यही ढंगले बुझिदिनुस् भन्ने मेरो आग्रह छ। र मेरो अर्को लास्टमा अन्तिम मेरो चाहिँ कुरा के छ भने नेपालमा हामीले पूर्वाधार विकासका र समग्र विकासको कुरा गर्दा हाम्रो विशिष्ट भूरा नीतिलाई बिर्सन हुँदैन, सकिँदैन। भारत र चीनको बीचमा जुन हामी छौं, अहिले विश्व जुन ढंगले परिवर्तित हुँदो छ, चीन एउटा ठूलो महाशक्तिको रूपमा उदय हुँदैछ, भारत पनि क्रमशः पछि लाग्दैछ, उता पश्चिमी जुन शक्ति हो उसको पनि जुन चासो बढ्दैछ, यो हाम्रो निम्ति चुनौती र अवसर दुवै हुन सक्छ। हामीले ठीक ढंगले तरिका मिलाउन सक्यौं भने यो अवसर बन्न सक्छ। त्यसो भएको हुनाले हामीले भारत र चीनको बजारसँग जोडेर हाम्रो अर्थतन्त्रको विकास गर्न, यी दुईटैको मूल्य श्रृंखला भ्यालु चेनसम्म जोडेर हाम्रो अर्थतन्त्र विकास गर्नको निम्ति यो रिजनल कनेक्टिभिटीलाई हामीले चाहिँ ध्यान दिनै पर्छ। त्यसैको निम्ति यी दुईटा छिमेकीलाई झस्काएर होइन, दुईटै छिमेकीलाई विश्वासमा लिएर भारत र चीन जोड्ने लिंक नेपाल चाहिँ एउटा त्यसो मैले पटक भन्ने गर्छु, भाइब्रेन्ट ब्रिज बिट्विन इन्डिया एन्ड चाइना मैले भन्ने गरेको छु। तर त्यो अझै स्थापित हुन सकेको छैन। मित्रहरू सशंकित हुनुहुन्छ। त्यसैले हामीले छोटी मुख बढी बात गर्नुभन्दा पनि उहाँहरू दुवैको एउटा विश्वास लिएर नेपाललाई चाहिँ हामीले भारत र चीन जोड्ने एउटा पुलको रूपमा विकास गराउन सक्यौं भने यो सम्भावना छ। र त्यति बेला पूर्वाधारको यो दुईटाको लिंक इन्टरलिङ्केजको पनि सम्भावना हुन्छ। र त्यसले रिजनल कनेक्टिभिटीको रूपमा पनि बिमस्टेक लगायतले जुन परिकल्पना गरेको छ, सार्कले पनि जुन परिकल्पना गरेको छ, त्यसलाई पनि हामीले अगाडि बढायौं भने निजी क्षेत्रले चाहिँ पूर्वाधारको क्षेत्रमा भूमिका चाहिँ खेल्न सक्छ। त्यतापट्टिमा ध्यान पुगोस्। यिनै शब्दका साथ अब म यहाँले जुन यति महत्त्वपूर्ण अवसर मलाई यहाँ भेट्ने, तपाईहरुसँग भेट्ने, छोटो के विचार आदान प्रदान गर्ने अवसर दिनुभयो, हार्दिक म धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। र यहाँका किनोट स्पिकर दुवैजनाले संक्षिप्त भने अत्यन्त गहन विचारहरू राख्नुभयो र टिप्पणीकर्ता मित्रहरूले पनि आफ्नो विचार यहाँ राख्नुभयो। हाम्रो मोडरेटर डाक्टर लोहनी त उहाँ प्रतिष्ठित एउटा अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय व्यक्तित्व नै हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँले आफ्नो क्षमता प्रतिभा छोटो रूपमा भए पनि यहाँ प्रदर्शन गरिसक्नुभयो। त्यसैले म सबैलाई हार्दिक बधाई र धन्यवाद दिँदै तपाईहरु सबैले पनि यो सेसनलाई सफल पार्न ध्यानपूर्वक सुनिदिनु भएकोमा आभार व्यक्त गर्दै म आफ्ना भनाइहरू अन्त्य गर्छु। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
धेरै धन्यवाद डाक्टर बाबुराम भट्टराई। यहाँले दिनुभएका सल्लाह सुझावहरू यस पूर्वाधार सम्मेलन 2019 मा सबैजनाले सुन्नु भएको छ र यसलाई मनन गरिनेछ भनेर आशा गरेका छौं। तसर्थ आजको यस पहिलो सेसन यसरी नै अन्त्य हुन्छ, जसका लागि म आज हाम्रा चेयर, किनोट स्पिकर्स, मोडरेटर र प्यानलिस्टलाई धन्यवाद ज्ञापन गर्दिनका निम्ति म यहाँ स्टेजमा निम्ति आउन चाहन्छु। I'd like to invite on stage the president of CNI, Satish Moore, to present mementos to our chair, keynote speakers, moderator, as well as our panelists. Can we have the mementos on stage, please? Thank you. Thank you so much to our chair, Dr. Baburam Bhattarai. Our keynote speakers, thank you very much. Dr. Pushparaj Kardel and Mr. Woo Chung Wom. And we'll be continuing with our second session right away, right after this. So the first session we had, setting up the context, infrastructure outlook. We talked about the challenges that exist, the role of the government, and the precondition to increasing FDI to Nepal. We'd like to once again thank all our panelists, Mr. Vishnu Kumar Agarwal, as well as Lal Shankar Ghimire, Elias George, Govinda Pandey, and of course our moderator for today, Dr. Bindu Lohane. We'd also like to remind you once again that we do have translations available, but that is only for Nepali to English. To all our Nepali speakers, we would like to request you to please speak slowly. Nepali बोल्नु हुने सबै जनालाई म बिस्तारै बोलिदिनु न आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु ताकि हाम्रो ट्रान्सलेटर्सहरूले सही तरिकाले अंग्रेजीमा संवाद गर्न सक्नुहोस्. We do have headsets available. Just to note that before you leave today's hall, do give it back to our respected people from the events as well as the organizers so that we don't misplace the headsets for tomorrow as well. Thank you. And just a reminder, if I haven't said that already, to please turn off your mobile phones or keep them in silent mode during the session for the whole day. Thank you so much, everyone. We would like to ask for a quick photo before you leave, gentlemen. Now, the second session of the day, that is infrastructure and regional connectivity, is what we'll be talking about right after this. Nepal will have to compete with other markets to attract and retain investments. Given that Nepal has several untapped opportunities, it is the government's imperative to create a favorable business environment. The government is specifically seeking PPPs in upgrading and the development of new highways, developing international trade routes, associated infrastructures, and improving major district road networks. However, the development of infrastructure system as compared to individual infrastructure elements help in infrastructure resilience. Now, the questions that will be addressed in the second session is justification for a resilient connectivity-driven development strategy for Nepal and implications on Nepal's global trade, both inwards and outwards, scope of the distributed or alternative infrastructure system as compared to conventional infrastructure interdependencies, opportunities for technology and innovation-led resilient infrastructure projects, as well as best practices and use case scenarios that can be adapted to the local context. Just to remind you, we're not taking a break. We are continuing with our sessions. Of course, if you cannot control, definitely go to the washroom, but please be right back ASAP. Remember, we have 3 more sessions today. We'll be breaking for lunch right at 12:30. So in case you're hungry, just to remind you that the lunch break is at 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Do be right back. We're changing the nameplates right as I speak. We do have translations available as well for Nepali to English, and we are at day 1 of Nepal Infrastructure Summit 2019.